Marvel will be paying for their crimes against me, I can tell you that. But hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here today, my name is Audrey, and we are going to be talking about episode 4, titled The Nexus Event of Loki. So we have 2 episodes left after this. And as always, if you're new here, I would love for you to subscribe. I am doing Loki videos for the rest of the season, as well as I do 2 videos a week. So just as a heads up. As kind of we started last week, we're going to focus on pretty much like the big things in the episode, 1 or 2 things. The big thing that I want to focus on for this episode, spoilers by the way, is I was correct. The timekeepers are not real. They were androids, we found out, which that was good because I was like, this is some wonky looking effects right now. Like, this looks pretty terrible. I feel like this has to be a Wizard of Oz misdirect, and it was, so thank God for that. But we don't know who is in control of the timekeepers, so we see them at the beginning of the episode, and then we see them at the end when they are revealed to just be androids. Ravonna goes to visit them at first, and then for the second time, that's when Sylvie and Loki are brought in to be pruned by the timekeepers directly. So the big question we're going to be asking is, who is in control or started the TVA? There are a couple answers to this that I think we could go down, a couple paths we can look at. We're going to look through all of those paths themselves. We do know everybody is a variant. Ravonna already knew this, so I would think she is a variant as well. Since she started as a hunter, maybe that's a secret she learned as a judge. We don't know too much about the other judges that are there at the TVA, just pretty much about her. So we know that anything that started to happen through anybody questioning this had ended up getting pruned as well. So Hunter C20 is listed as deceased, but had been pruned by the TVA. Seemingly, it wasn't confirmed, but they listed her as deceased because they said she had gone crazy, when in reality she had revealed the truth of the TVA in front of the court. And then my beloved Mobius was pruned directly by Ravonna right next to Loki, which was so sad. I only see the truth at the end. And we're going to talk a little bit about pruning because it was revealed that it's not quite death. It's kind of what I thought. I've been thinking about pruning the entire time while the show has started, so we're going to get into that as well. But I do want to focus on who created and or who is in charge of the Time Variance Authority. I don't believe the timekeepers were ever a thing. It's possible they were at one point and they could have died off, but they are not anymore. I think we have a few likely options. A lot of people believe it is and want it to be King the Conqueror. That's probably the most prominent theory going around right now, so we're going to talk a bit about King the Conqueror and how he could and could not be the creator and the leader of the TVA. The reason people think this, other than King the Conqueror just being announced to come up later, he is supposed to make his debut in Quantumania, the 3rd Ant-Man and the Wasp film. However, it's always possible that he is teased or revealed earlier on. That's always a possibility that could happen. Thanos was teased at the end of Avengers 1 and was not credited as Josh Brolin, so it's possible they could put him in some sort of tease, some sort of tag. He is a time-related villain. He's time traveling. He is a relative to Reed Richards, which we know Reed Richards is coming, so that's another tease as well. We also know that, we also believe that the TVA is in the null time zone, which has relations to the Fantastic Four, and probably the biggest tangible piece of evidence with the Loki series is that Ravonna Renslayer is a romantic love interest, the same thing. Romantic interest for King the Conqueror. So it is kind of a good theory. I mean, it's a good theory that people have that it could be Kang the Conqueror. I don't know. It's possible. I think he is running things very loosely, and that Ravonna reports to him, but I don't think we would really get much of Kang the Conqueror, and for those reasons, I'm not quite sure if Kang the Conqueror is really going to be the person in charge of the TVA, just because I don't expect him to play a big villain in this when he's supposed to make his official debut in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So that's my thoughts on that. I would like it to be Kang. I don't think the way that the Marvel shows have gone that it will be Kang, just kind of as an example. So that being said, if we'll look at more of the WandaVision route, because Kang is kind of turning into the new Mephisto. If we look at the WandaVision route, Agatha was the villain the entire time, which was very disappointing, at least for me. I don't think she's a bad character, and I liked Kathryn Hahn's performance, but if you do look at the comics, she is just a pawn to Mephisto, so a lot of people were expecting Mephisto to show up because she was in the series. They kind of lied about her being Agatha, but it was pretty easy to detect. But I think when you have something like that, somebody who is a character who's connected to another character, then there's going to be a lot of people speculating that the character they're connected to is going to show up, which makes sense, and then getting extremely disappointed when they don't. So I think it's a very big Kang, sort of Kang thing. So I think it's possible that Ravonna is the big bad of the series, whether or not there are multiple variants of herself running around, or whatnot. I think Ravonna just being the big bad is quite possible. I think it's quite possible she didn't start the TVA, but she took control, since she did start as a hunter and then moved to be a judge. And she seems to be the top judge, the one that's, you know, reporting to the timekeepers, but knows the timekeepers aren't real. Seemingly she knew that, because there was no shock, really, when that happened. Another option that we do have, looking at Miss Tara Strong's words, it could be Miss Minutes. I'm not sure it would be a giant clock jumping around, but I think it could be an AI. We obviously know AIs play a huge part in the MCU. We have Jarvis, we have Karen, we have Ultron, it's technically an AI. We have the Kree Supreme Intelligence, so it's quite possible that the TVA is run by an AI system like Miss Minutes, and that maybe they were started by the Timekeepers or whoever back in the day that started the TVA to just run the TVA according to the AI. Or it could have just gone rogue, and who knows. Like, I think Miss Minutes is out of those. If we're having anybody who's not Ravonna as a big bad, I think it would be Miss Minutes, which I know that's kind of funny because she's just like a little animated character, but who knows? I mean, Loki's kind of weird, so it's always possible. And I think the last thing I want to bring up as well is I think we could possibly see alternate versions of Mobius, because in the comics, from what I believe, they're not all variants, they're all clones of Mobius. Like, all the agents are clones of Mobius. So I think it's quite possible that we could see some, like, supreme version of Mobius, especially I think it would parallel really nicely with the fact that he's following all these Lokis, and there's supposed to be one supreme version of Loki. Also, just with little hints that there's all these analysts that Ravonna has, and could possibly be just other versions of him. Who knows? So those are kind of my thoughts. I think we could see other versions of Mobius, but I will get into that with the second topic I want to bring up. The second big thing that I want to bring up is the idea of pruning. So pruning does not kill somebody. It puts somebody in some other dimension. So it's quite possible it's some null dimension, it's an alternate dimension, Something like that. We don't know quite how the rules of time travel work. The TVA is explaining things, but they were created by propaganda, so who's to know what's for real? So, at the end, there is a post-credit scene. I knew we were going to get one sometime, so we got it today in episode 4, so I'm about to say season 4. So we got it today, and we see Loki was pruned after, thank God, Ravonna saved us from the cringiest scene that could have ever happened. But I'm still afraid that they're still going to push that in there, and if that is the case, I would really like to have a one-on-one battle, not a conversation. I like to have a physical fight with whoever approved the idea of Loki having feelings for an alternate female version of himself. Like, this is really getting into the Homelander thing from The Boys season 2, except they're trying to make it cute and romantic and not creepy. It's creepy, okay, Marvel? It is creepy. I'm over it. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, Loki gets pruned. And then the end credit, mid-credit scene is he wakes up and is like, am I in hell? Am I dead? And is revealed to see there are 4 other versions of Loki there. Now, we have the classic Loki, which is played by Richard Grant. We predicted that, but we thought maybe he'd be in a different way there. We see a Kid Loki. So Kid Loki's a pretty other common one that we expected to see. We see a black man that looks pretty similar to, he has like a version of Mjolnir. So this is another version of Loki, but maybe one that is worthy and has the powers of Thor. And then we have a little alligator Loki, who has this little horns on. This is the cutest version of Loki I've ever seen in my life. I love alligators. Is that from Florida? Does that show? I really do like gators. I think they're cute. As long as they're not near me. But yes, there are 4 different ones. What happened to everybody else who was pruned? Are they put into like a Westworld scenario where they have to fight to the death? Like, I think it might be possible that they're like in some not real reality. So it's not reality. Virtual reality? I don't know. Similar to like Loki's in this time prison. So maybe it's possible they go somewhere like that. That being said, where's Hunter C20? And where's Mobius? Are we going to see those versions? Are they going to help each other out? Mobius is going to end up with 4 versions of Loki. That would be 5 versions of Loki. That would be a lot for him. However, we do know in episode 1, Hunter B15 zappity zapped pruned the cart that had all of the Infinity Stones. So I think Marvel's favorite MacGuffin, the Infinity Stones, might help them get out of wherever they are after being pruned. I really hope we get to see team-ups of the other characters as well. And I really hope to see Mobius again. And I hope to see him on his jet ski, because that is what my man deserved. I nearly cried. Do not take my Mobius from me. Like, that is rude. So we'll see what happens there. It's exciting. Hunter B15 really came into her own in this episode. She was helping Sylvie. She's helping them do this because the TVA are assholes, stole everything from them, and they deserve much better. But that is where I'm going to wrap this portion up of this video up today. Like I said, we have 2 more episodes left, so we'll hopefully be getting answers. Let me know who you think is in charge of the TVA or started the TVA down below, and also who your new favorite of the 4 new Lokis are. I'm voting for Gator Loki. You let me know what your favorite Loki is down below. As always, I will see you in my next one. If you liked this video, hopefully you will subscribe. I am 4 subscribers away from 200, and if you would like to watch any more videos, you can watch them back here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on Saturday with a new video.